With all things in life, there are levels. For instance, some people think a GT86 is a fast car, and to them it is. And then you get the GTI guys that believe a GTI is quick. Then comes the 335i dudes that can only win a race that is on a roll, but they still believe the car is unbelievably fast. And then we get the RS3 guys, and so forth. While the 720S is a car that is a bargain, but on its own level. For me, it's unbelievably expensive, but the performance you get for the money makes it a bargain. That's why I say levels. The 720S is a hypercar you can buy for supercar money, kind of. The Ferrari Tributo starts at 275,000 USD. The 720S starts at 301,000 USD. So it's a bit more expensive, but it is really fast for the money. And before I try and prove my point, let's talk about the beast under the hood, or trunk, or the thing in the back, okay? The 720S is powered by a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 that produces 710 horsepower and 770 Nm of torque. All of those horses get directed to the road via a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. The car is scary fast in a straight line. But to try and put it into perspective, let's play a game of who is faster. Our contestants today will be the 2020 Porsche 911 Turbo S, because it's one of the craziest cars from a standstill. We'll also talk about the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, just because I really like it, the F8 Tributo, because it's the direct competition of the 720S, the McLaren P1, because the P1 is the 720S's big scary bro, and it's like $1 million, it's a true hypercar. And then lastly the Bugatti Veyron, just because it can. So race 1, the 911 Turbo S Porsche. The 911 does a 10.1 second quarter mile and a 16.2 second half mile. So it's really fast. It's impressive numbers, but is it fast enough to beat the McLaren? Nope. PS, I will tell you the McLaren's times, but let's just have a bit of fun first. Next, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. It does a 10.3 second quarter mile and a 17.5 second half mile, so it is slower than the Porsche and definitely slower than the McLaren. Okay, so now we're talking about the Ferrari, the direct competition for the McLaren. The Ferrari does a 10.2 second quarter mile, which is slower than the Porsche, but its half mile is 16.2, which is the same as the Porsche, which means the Ferrari catches at the end. It's just the all-wheel drive system of the Porsche that helps down the quarter mile, but it's still slower than the 720S. Now we're going to move to the big cars, the McLaren P1, and here's why I think the 720S might lose. The P1 is a monster with 900 horsepower and 900 Nm of torque, so it's just an insane hypercar, and it costs right around $1 million. So when I say the 720S is a hypercar for supercars price, this is what I mean. The P1 is faster, but it's really close. And we are going to look at it in a straight line and in the corners, so we can truly get a picture of the performance of the 720S in comparison with the P1. So let's directly compare them. The quarter mile of a 720S is 9.9 seconds at 148.2 miles per hour. The P1 does a 9.8 seconds at 152 miles per hour, so 0.1 of a second faster for like 3 times the price. On a half mile, the difference should be a bit bigger because of the power difference, while the 720S does a 15.7 second half mile, and the P1, how much faster do you think it will be? A 15.5, so 0.2 of a second faster on a half mile. So it's only just faster. I mean, 0.2 of a second is really marginal. If the dude in the McLaren P1 gets a bad launch, you'll beat him in your 720. But you might say straight line means nothing, so let's see how they compare around the track. Both cars have been around Laguna Seca, so we'll use their best times around there and then we can compare. The 720S managed a 1 minute 29.7 around Laguna Seca, where the P1 did a, what do you think? How much faster do you think the $1 million hypercar will be? While it's slower, it did a 130.7, so it's literally a second slower around Laguna Seca than the 720S. So that just shows you the 720S is a serious machine. I mean, it's got an amazing amount of power, great technology, and it's a great all-round hypercar in like quotes, because it's not, you don't pay for hypercar, but it is a hypercar, let's just be honest. And just for shits and giggles, let's just talk about the Bugatti. The Bugatti does a 10 second quarter mile, which is slower than the 720, and it's slower on the half mile as well, so it's just slower. Anyways, I digress. How did McLaren manage this. How do they make a car that only has 700 horsepower? And I say it like it's not a lot. 700 horsepower is a lot. But how do they make that compete with cars that got close to 1000 horsepower? Well, the 720S has a carbon fiber monocoque, which helps keep the weight low, and she isn't exactly heavy. At 1.4 tons, she is light for a car with a huge twin-turbo V8 engine. The car also has amazing computers that help you to get the power to the road. And on top of that, it has one of the most advanced active suspensions on the market that are great for track and road use. It's not even uncomfortable when it's not on track mode. The car's just great in every aspect. You can totally daily drive this thing if you have money for the petrol. And then you get to the potential of this car. Now, most people won't tune and modify a $300,000 supercar. It's unnecessary. Or is it? Ikanu Racing got their 720S down to an 8.9 second quarter mile, and all they did was downpipes and a tune. Now, downpipes and a tune is like barely stage 2 in a car. It's really just like, it's nothing. It's stock turbos, everything is still stock. They just changed the downpipes, they put a race gas tune in, and they put race gas in the car. Got an 8.9 second quarter mile. That's really impressive. But like I said, the car's just good for as a normal road car as well. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll check you guys in the next one. Go through my channel. I've got car videos on specific cars. I've got a build series in the 3350. I've got bike videos. I've got list videos. I've got anything. Go through it, see if there's anything you like. I'll check you guys in the next one. Cheers,